year is turning out to be quite tough, right, for portfolio investors. Last year, the mid-cap index ran up 48%. So many portfolios did well. This year, of course, there's been quite a bit of hit. I'm guessing even your NAV would be down quite a bit. So how do you approach a market like this?
Good afternoon, Anuj. It's true that investors are seeing a much lower NAV or going by the price of stocks today. And this is a very deep correction, in fact. In our case, we have underperformed the markets in this quarter significantly to the Nifty and Sensex. That is because of our style of, mostly betting on large mid-cap companies and emerging companies. And we don't, do too much of churning. And but we are very comfortable because we have only investors. There are no traders in as our clients. So anybody who understands equity and doing value investing, there is no alarm, there is no panic. But as everybody knows, there is too much of trading activities in the market, leverage trades. So it happens. And this time, Anuj, there is something really affecting the market sentiment. We had the first 3 quarters of the financial year, excellent, returns, everybody made big money. And the last quarter, the fourth quarter, there is enough and more loss which can be booked.
Sure.
And the tax liability of the first 3 quarters can be reduced.
No, Porinju, I take your point.
For that purpose.
I take your point, and I appreciate the fact that you are being so candid. Of course, it works both ways. The high leverage helps when the market is going up. It helps in NAVs. So I don't think you should be complaining about that on the way down. But the point here is, in a market like this, as you said, there's been a bit of an underperformance for mid caps. We've seen a lot of domestic money into equity markets. You have been making this point. I think you were the first one to look at that huge number in terms of domestic savings coming into equities. Is that at risk right now? We saw February numbers; they were good, but do you guess that if this correction continues, that fund flows could become a bit of a problem?
The domestic fund flows, basically the savings from the middle class families from India, in large number, coming into the market has just started in India. And you are going to see, much more money coming in the remaining part of 2018 and 19, because there is not much other avenues for investing. There will be maybe 20-30 million more people, Indians, going to invest in equities for the first time in the coming 1, 2, 3 years. So this is the technical aspect, of course, but this is very important for the economy, for the companies operating in the economy, and for the stock market. And see, the big picture is very clear. Our economy has to grow, and we have enough, the fundamentals for that, for growth. And politics is something very important today. Now, a lot of people are scared about the political scenario, which is also affecting the sentiment in the market. So whether the existing regime will continue, or whether there will be, some kind of not so clear kind of a government getting formed next time without proper majority to any parties. So there are a lot of such kind of apprehensions started in the recent past. And that also has affected the market in a very big way, I would say. So, but all the negatives are discounting the market at this point of time. So I feel this is a wonderful opportunity, especially for the people who are going to come to the market for the first time in their life. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I am very, very bullish in general on the markets.
Okay. Porinju, hi, afternoon. So that was my next question. What is your advice to clients now? Is the time to buy right now? Or is it better to sit on some cash right now and perhaps take that call later? And even if you are buying, where do you see the opportunity now?
It's neither of these. It's in fact the time to go for holidays. It is summer in many parts of very warm in many parts of the country. So there are enough opportunities for people. Last year, everybody made so much money. So part of that money can be utilized for traveling and enjoying. So there is nothing much to do for the investing community. They will be naturally, most of them are fully invested. We are fully invested at this point of time, and we feel comfortable about that. We don't give much care for this. The prices of some of the stocks we have bought and just come down in the panic. Everybody is a seller today. There's hardly anybody in the market buying. So that is a kind of sentiment. But I don't think this will last for more than a week again. I am very confident. Money is going to come to the market. We have the market is very reasonably priced, Sonia. That is the ultimate thing. There was some excesses, and most people, especially the old timers in the market, were expecting a correction in the market since November, December, January kind of time. It is very true. Anybody, maybe there are people who came into the market in the last 5 years. They haven't seen the real market. They may be expecting, that the market will go on going up every day and every year. See, otherwise people have seen much bigger panics and depressions in the market many times. So that way, this is a quite ordinary kind of a phenomenon in the market, and wherein investors have been lost money.
Sure, I take that point. I also wanted to check with you on some of the recent tweets that you have put out, because you have been bullish on some sectors, healthcare. Healthcare, of course, you've been bullish for a while, but even sectors like insurance, and you've been talking a lot about how this space has been growing well. There are a few listed players in this space, the insurance space. Do you see a lot of scope here?
This is, in the budget, government has brought in something very important, even though there is no much budgetary allocation, about the insurance, health insurance to be given to the poor people in this country. Sonia, this is a very, very significant development. Most of the middle class and lower middle class and the poor families in this country, their biggest suffering is somebody in the home gets sick. All their financials go into trouble. The planning doesn't work. So I have seen people selling off their house just because somebody in the family got sick and had to treat with the expensive treatment system today. So an insurance, we are totally underinsured country. Whether it should be health, life, or you take any aspect of our life, except the cars. Everybody insure their cars. That's the most precious thing in their life than the life. So I think this is a great opportunity. Government is initiating an awareness at least. I'm not telling that everything is going to be done in this year or next year. An awareness campaign has started, and government can very well have proper budgetary allocation and subsidize the premium and bring in the insurance companies, with their consensus. This maybe 5 or 10 crores families what government is planning to insure. I think this is an amazing move. This is again creating opportunities for the investing community in the sectors, related sectors. But at the same time, this is a social sector. Nobody will be allowed to make too much profits.
Okay, by the way, the 3 p.m. move on the Bank Nifty is slightly on the upside. Just pull out the intraday chart of the Bank Nifty and also of the stock like HDFC Bank. It looks like 24,200 could be the equilibrium. So of course you won't see it because before that there was a big fall. So Porinju, FMCG has done well, right? Consumption stocks have done well. We just spoke about Jubilant Food. You also liked a couple of stocks in the past in the space. You reckon that still remains a good value? You still invest here?
Yes, we have a reasonable exposure in the consumption story. And as you know, Kaya is the stock which we have a very large exposure. And we are holding more than 11% in that company. But these kind of companies may be not going to report very impressive numbers in the immediate future. So investors should have patience, and there are a lot of companies in India. As I know, every day investor has to remember in the morning, before the market opens, we are living in a country with 1,300 million people. So consumption is directly related to that number, wherein a lot of people have to come up and they will be proper consumers. Now today, half of the population, they don't have money to, buy things beyond the very, very basic things. Even those basic things, it's a large business model and it's large in number. So there are many, many companies and sub-segments within the consumption story. I think I think Future Consumer was one of the company. I think that's what we are trying to talk about. So we are not holding the stock much except a small quantity. We had book profit in that stock and many other stocks last year.
Okay, so that's about consumption. You know, the other space we were discussing just a while back with you, Porinju, was the water treatment space, and in that you recently bought into a name like Veliyath. But this stock has been really volatile. I mean, at one point it was a multi-bagger, it gave great returns, but in the last 1 year it's just fallen drastically. You think it's reached an attractive level now?
Yeah, I think I just started buying, and you might have seen our letter to message to the stock exchange that we have crossed 5% holding in the company. This is one of the best water company in the world, and we all are talking about water for some time, nothing new. But this is one company, I would say, a very safe bet in that, especially in that EPC segment. Water treatment or seawater desalination or the sewage water treatment, we have to grow very big in the country itself. And this company is a global company with around more than 20 countries operations. They have around 20 global subsidiaries and a very, very healthy balance sheet. And they have not been doing so great. It was like stagnant for the last 2 or 3 years. So I think that some investors have got fed up and they have been selling. The stock came down. So it looks very attractive to me, but I don't want investors to go and buy just because I have bought the stock, because we are going to hold it for a very long time. And this seems to be an amazing story, and the very, very smart people behind the company, the passionate people and passionate organization, and a very focused. It's an asset-light model. These are the kind of companies one should watch for the coming years.
Okay, Porinju, always good talking to you. Thanks a lot for joining us today, and of course, you remain a bull of